All right, so let's move on. Speaking of writing books, look at my guy, David Belman of the Young Guns movement.
Woohoo.
My man, tomorrow is the big day. Tell
It
us about
is.
it.
All right. Well, tomorrow is the launch day for the brand new book, Leadership Growth Hacks. So, hey, just real quick, I got to give a shout out to Dawn because that was some great stuff, by the way. And I'm going to add one piece of advice because I've been fortunate. I've been on the news a lot with our Operation Finally Home projects. And one other tip is if you have the news coming to your event, I always made a custom jump stick for them because the keep it easy thing, it's a real thing. So I made them a jump stick and I would have like pictures of the families we were helping and the home and stuff like that. So when they're cutting their story, it's like, oh, I need a visual to drop in here. Boom, they have it. And I'll tell you what, they always came back when I asked them. So just
That's a
another
great
piece of
idea.
advice. So
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, so thank you for being such a giver. You can't even plug your own book without helping us. So let's set that to the
sure.
side. Plug your own book, my man,
All
Leadership
right.
Growth Hacks. So let
So
me ask, how long have you been writing this book?
Well, that's a great question because it started a lot longer than what I'd like to admit, but I wanted to do this for about 2 years. So
Mhm.
I kind of started and I would stop and I started and I stopped. And then finally after the Young Guns event, I had a bunch of people come up to me and they're like, where's your book? I want your book on this speech. And I'm like, well, I don't have one. And so I was like, okay, I have to do this now. So um, it kind of put the pressure on me. So I started it and it took really in earnest, I would say from end of April of last year till today, basically, to get it all done and out there. So, and this was sort of my COVID project. So I kind of did this because I was like, with COVID going on, I wasn't sure how things were going to go. And fortunately for me, my business has been very, very good, and it became a little bit of a stress to kind of get this all done on time. But here we are, and um, really, what it's about at the end of the day is if you're a type of person where you've just worked really hard and you just don't feel like you're getting where you need to be, if you wonder why some people get all the breaks and you don't, you feel stuck with what you're doing, even though you're trying to do the right things, then this book is for you because this will help you break through. It's going to change your perspective on why you're here, what you should be doing, and it's also going to, I think, teach you a lot of skills. It's going to teach you how to manage your time better. It's going to teach you how to attract the right people. It's going to teach you how to become a trusted source and, control your time. And ultimately, at the end of the day, build something that you're proud of with your business and your life.
So you see a P&L and you see the numbers, you see your bank account, see a bank account. When you hold a book that you wrote, what does that feel like? Does that feel different?
Yeah, I mean, it's the shining moment for me was there's two things. One was when I hit the publish button on Amazon, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's no turning back. Holy cow. And because when you write this, like there's a lot of business information in here, but I do have a couple stories in here. And there's one or two stories where I was like, oh my gosh, do I really want to share that with the world? But in order
Mhm.
to actually get the point across, you have to share it, whether it's good or bad, or it makes you look good or it doesn't make you look good. You have to you have to be willing to fail. You got to be willing to share and put yourself out there a little bit. So that was the one thing. And then when I got the author copy in the mail, I was like, holy crap, this
Yep.
is it. And then it was like, oh, it's there's a couple things as I'm looking through it, and I'm like, oh, I don't quite like this, and I don't like that. So um, it was actually published like 2 weeks ago, and then you go back and you revise it. And we always knew that this was going to be the date tomorrow, actually, but you don't really, you got to kind of go through the process. You got to make some edits and things before you're really happy with the final product.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting that you got there. Congratulations on it. So tell us how we can support you when it goes on sale. Tell us everything.
Sure. So it technically is on Amazon right now, but I would prefer that if you guys want to get a copy, please go on tomorrow because tomorrow is actually launch day. And if you don't know this, Amazon is very funny about how they do the bestseller list. So tomorrow is the day we want to really push it. I've got all the categories built in there. So if you go on Amazon tomorrow, I see they're popping up the link right now. You can click on the link and order a copy. Please consider ordering a couple copies for yourself or your team or somebody else that would really enjoy the content in this book. Again, I know this is going to make a big difference for people because a lot of this stuff that's in this book is stuff that I learned the hard way. because I owned my business for a long time. And it just kind of felt like I kept doing the same thing over and over and wasn't getting anywhere. And I kind of changed my perspective and I started doing some of these things intentionally. And it made a huge difference. All of a sudden, I was able to get involved with Operation Finally Home. I've been on TV 30 times with that. I mean, I've, spoken for Young Guns. I've gotten that opportunity because of all these different things that I've done. So it will definitely help you if you take the time and you read it and you apply some of the things that you hear in the book. It's going to make a big difference for anyone.
Well, it's been a pleasure to get to know you and partner with you in the Young Guns Project. And I'm really genuinely excited for you. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you for everything you do here and the Idea Collective. It's fantastic. And you've got just a wonderful group of people. And I'm looking forward to having you guys email me after you read this and go, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what happened.
Yeah. Look at the results I got from your book. That'll be a huge payoff, and hopefully that happens. So tomorrow's the day. Let's ring it up for David. Leadership Growth Hacks, Amazon bestseller. How does that sound? Does that sound good?
Sounds fantastic to me.
All right, my friend.
Make it happen.
Good luck to you. Thanks for coming on, David Belman, and his new book, Leadership Growth Hacks. And here's a little pro tip. Now, this isn't the 10 o'clock news, but if you write and release a real book, I'm going to bring you on the show because I know how hard that is, and that's something that deserves to be celebrated. So congratulations, David. We are excited for you.